We want to sort of scale one day to be an Uber for moving.
This is the stuff that you used to like call up your uncle, he's got a truck, and then bribe him with a case of beer or pizza, that kind of stuff.
Correct.
Hey everybody, Brian Lee here with Prairie Founders Club, and today we have a special guest, the founder of Clean Move in Omaha, Nebraska. This is Sloan Nelson. Welcome, Sloan.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Well, super excited to talk about your business. So let's just start from the top. Like in general, what's your elevator pitch? Who do you serve, and what do you serve people with?
All right. Yeah. So we are a moving and decluttering business. So we offer micro moving and junk hauling to the Omaha area, including Council Bluffs and, Papillion, Gretna, etc. So right now our goal is to offer solutions for people in the area that don't have a large enough vehicle or enough hands to simplify their life, basically. So if they want to clean out their basement and don't have a van to throw all the extra junk in, they hire us. We come in and we can either take that stuff to fully dispose of it, or we also offer taking that type of thing to a Goodwill or a Habitats for Humanity. And we do a lot of donations. But we also are able to bring it to, let's say, someone's house that you sold your item on Facebook. We can deliver that item to them if you don't have the space in your car and your buyer doesn't have a truck either. So those kind of niche jobs that a big box moving company doesn't want to take because it's not going to make them the buck, we step in and we have a solution for that.
Gotcha. So you guys kind of identified a hole in the market to
Yeah.
where moves that aren't big enough to rent a truck or to get a moving company, but bigger than you could probably do yourself if you don't have your truck. And this is the stuff that you used to like call up your uncle or your buddy that's got a truck, and then bribe them with a case of beer or pizza, that kind of stuff.
Correct.
Gotcha. So this is an easy way to do that without having to bother anybody and bribe them. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what? Okay. So where did that idea come from? Like, how did you recognize that gap in the market, and what prompted you to take action on?
Yeah. So I'm actually a nurse by background. And for a couple years, about 3 years, I did travel nursing. So I was moving different apartments every 3 months as I was relocating for my different travel nurse contracts. And I didn't bring everything with me, just a couple things, or I would rent things on Facebook Marketplace or find, little um, little buys locally in different areas. And it was every 3 months, that I realized like I wish I had a boyfriend to um and so realizing that there was a gap in the market, when I don't need to have a truck to drive around daily, but it might be nice to have a larger vehicle to haul things around when I'm moving. And I think just chronically moving so many times over a year,
I
few,
know the feeling.
it it definitely opened my eyes to the gap right there.
Yes. And and there's your app is a big part of this too. You have a technical component to it that sort of sets you apart from, let's just say, like a listing in the paper saying we'll come help you move. So tell
Yes.
us about the app and how that came about.
Yeah. So the other part of the idea and the launch of Clean Move was there's this business, moving business or junk hauling business, but it lacks technology. And so it is difficult for the customers to, let's say, book or to even get an idea about how much something like this might cost them. And so you kind of forget about the idea of even using the company if you're not able to look at it online and get the information that you want. So, making the website and the app version of it was one of the most important parts of the idea because there isn't really any other solution like this that you can sign on. You can type in your address, you can type in what you're asking for, and it will instantly give you the exact price that will
Mm.
charge.
So I could see how that would save you quite a bit of time,
Yeah.
where you're actually not giving quotes all the time. So what are some other things, like, as the founder, business owner, operator, like, what are some things that the app, and the technology you have allows that frees you up to be able to do other things, like, obviously on the quotation, but is there anything else that it would kinda help you with?
The quote is really helpful and it can give our customer an idea of what they would need to pay. But it's also nice just for someone that is shopping around and learning more about what Clean Move does or their options in the Omaha area of how they can get something delivered or their have help getting their garage emptied. They don't have to book with us, but they're able to explore their options. It gives you all the cost breakdown without you having to enter a credit card. So just being able to get all that information to the customer without them having to talk with us on the phone. I love to chat. I can talk with someone on the phone for hours, but there are customers and a lot of people right now that don't like to pick up the phone and
Right.
or inquire about something. So they would almost rather try to do it themselves or ask that uncle that maybe is a little getting a little too old to help you. You should
Right.
probably not put them in that position. So this is the solution that is really oriented to the generations that are looking for this type of help right now. So the idea of being able to get on the website and just do it all in one go without having to talk to someone.
So is it fully automated up to the point of service, or is there a step where you talk to them before you would perform the service?
We usually reach out after all the automation is sent just to touch base like human to human.
Mhm.
I'll send a message, hey, it's Sloan with Clean Move. We plan on coming at this, and this time. If we don't hear back, we'll just plan on going. A lot of times they'll
Mhm.
text back and we'll maybe ask for a photo just so we know
Mm.
what supplies to show up with. Um,
Gotcha.
or, if someone booked us in our van, we want to make sure that the item will fit in the van or, those logistics. But really,
Yeah.
everything is done automated and we do and we can follow up after that just to get ourselves prepared. But if in the future we aren't able to follow up with everyone after every booking, it's not necessarily part of the process to follow up. It can just be through the app, and we'll be there, and
Yeah.
you can count on us to show up.
That's fantastic. And then plus, I mean, the app looks so professional. It certainly gives you, some credibility
Yeah.
just by walking through the technology. And do they prepay then at this point?
Yes. So at this
Okay.
point, they would prepay, and so s- assuming that everything goes as planned, the right time frame was booked and everything,
Yeah.
wouldn't owe any more money on the day of. But of course, we have our conditions and terms that just indicate if any extra time is needed or if the move was booked with just one person versus it probably needed a second and we had to bring another person in, we can go ahead and charge an additional amount after just based on what was needed.
Have you ever showed up and they weren't ready or they weren't there?
Not that they weren't there,
Oh, okay.
but we have shown up to some homes where they I don't know if they just were adding more things to the request or if it was
Mm,
always in their mind that way,
mm.
but just a
Like
bigger job than was booked. But
like a little bit scope creep?
yeah,
Like a little bigger? Gotcha. Okay, great. Well, hey, why don't we take a look at the app? Why don't you give us a little tour through it?
sure.
Oh, yeah, take us through Clean Move.
Okay. So this is our website. It's mycleanmove.com. It'll take you to our homepage, which is the page where you can actually go ahead and book a clean move. So right on front, you can either click moving or junk. With moving, obviously there's going to be two addresses to type in: where you live and where whoever lives and you want us to pick up an item, and then where you want it to be delivered. Or if you have junk, you can just let us know where to pick it up and we will take care of it. So if we just type in two addresses, it will give you our availability. So I can check right here. First step is select a vehicle. Do I just need a pickup truck, or do I need something bigger like the van? Let's say I want to book the van and I have a pretty big couch that I don't think just me and Clean Move could pick up. I might need an extra person. I can add the extra muscle, and then I
Nice.
go ahead and click a date and time. Let's say I need it, a couple weeks from now on Friday. I want 10:30 in the morning. Just moving one thing down the road. So I'm going to click an hour and it will automatically tell me how much.
So what's the logic behind that? Is it calculating, I guess, the mileage?
Yes. So it's calculating the vehicle. So we do have a little bit of a price difference between the pickup, the van, and a big moving truck. And then we don't have any discrepancy on price for date or time. So weekends versus weekdays, those all cost the same. Um, if you need to book an extra laborer, that does charge
Mhm.
extra, and it does tell you if you click through. It tells you how that price is changed,
Eh,
and then we charge for duration of time and distance.
Gotcha. Are people generally good about their estimates, or how often do
Yeah.
you are they off? I know you kinda mentioned that just a second ago.
Yeah, not often are they off. I think a lot of the people that book with Clean Move are, they're as, um, at least for this business, we ask that unless you want to hire, two helpers, that you are the extra helper. So I think that most people understand in their head, like, okay, how long would it take me and my uncle to move this couch upstairs?
Mhm, mhm.
Um, so they're thinking of it in terms of them being involved. So it's easy for people to kind of realize how long something like that might take. So we haven't had a lot of problems with the time, but that's another thing that people will reach out and ask for just any guidance on the time duration that they should book. And we can obviously offer assistance with that.
Nice.
Yeah, so you can get that whole price breakdown and it will take you right to your confirmation details and everything. And then you would have the ability to pay. But before we ask you for any payment or any of your information, you can figure out exactly the cost breakdown and what you might owe. So makes that
Nice.
makes that really nice for the customer to figure out, with their budget, what they can afford and how easy we can make it for them to get some help.
So I've got some questions for you about your pricing. Like how hard did you have to think about it? How often have you changed it? Is it on the nose? Is it still are you s- still work in progress? Like that's business owners are obviously obsessed over pricing.
Yes. And we started off low because we wanted to bring in customers. And what really helped calculate what we wanted to charge right in the beginning was like, how can we be the lowest cost in the area by far? So we would look at, how much does it cost to rent a U-Haul? Obviously, you don't get someone to help you when you're renting a U-Haul. So even if we charge the same amount, if we were, offering our service as well as the van, we're already a better deal. But we were like, let's go a little less.
Hmm.
So just wanting to be able to shout from the mountaintops, like we have an affordable solution. Um, so that's what we started with. And we have, I believe it was only one time increased our prices just because while we love to offer the solution for that type of price, even our customers were very surprised
Hmm.
at our affordable price. And
That's always a good sign.
yes, it is. And they're like, oh, well, and a lot of our customers have hired us in multiple times, and them even seeing the increase in price, they were more than happy to pay for it
Hmm.
because our current prices still reflect something lower than what you would probably find any other day of the week at any other business. So what we really want to do, especially in this first year of reaching out to potential customers, is being able to offer them an affordable price. Then we can really gain a lot of their trust and have them tell more people about Clean Move. And as we are able to scale the business, hopefully able to increase prices as needed, just for the business itself, but keep everything really low for the customer.
Gotcha. So you're comfortable right now with where it's at, but obviously everyone would love the opportunity to be able to make more money in the future.
Right. I mean, the number one way to raise revenue for a business is to raise the price of your product. You know, you can cut costs elsewhere, but the the easiest and most effective way to have more revenue is to raise your price.
Sure.
But like I said, we've only done that once, and it was because we realized we were grossly undercharging. And
Hmm.
this is a laborious job. And so not only are people willing to pay for the help,
Hmm.
they want to pay a fair price. So
Yeah. I noticed you had a tipping option on there. I'm curious from the business owner standpoint. Do you factor that in, or is that like a nice icing on the cake? Like, do you need the tip to cover expenses, or like how does that fit in, and what percentage of people you typically tip?
yeah. So we didn't have that on the website to begin with. And
Hmm.
our customers were asking about it. They're like,
Mm,
can I tip after? Should I have
mm,
cash? Do you have a Venmo?
mm,
So we just decided to add it as an option online. We don't
yeah,
expect it. We don't count on it. We don't calculate it into our budget. It was just something that our customers kind of pointed out to us, and so it was added.
and do you find that's a significant source of revenue? Do most people tip, or like?
No, and I don't really expect it, especially
Mm,
before the service, because when you pay online, it's before you have the clean move done anyway. So sometimes after the job, they'll hand us a 20 or something, but we don't count on that. It's not something I really expect, or we will see maybe someone adding 10 or 15% when they pay on the website. But since the cost is so low and the jobs are typically pretty quick and easy, that 10 or 15% is like $6 or something.
sure,
So
sure.
less than you would probably tip a mover anyway.
Gotcha. So, once they go through all that, what kind of automations are on the back end? Do they get automated emails like immediately and then before the move, or what kind of infrastructure do you have for that
Yeah.
between the
So
purchase and the move?
right now on the back end, since we're starting off slow and just getting everything out there, we prefer to send out those emails manually just so that we can keep track of everything and have a more personal chat potentially, with whomever we are serving. So right now, when we get a booking, the back end will email Clean Move, and I obviously have that email, and I will look at that. It shows me the date and time that they booked, the duration, if they tipped or how much they paid. It tells me everything that the website told the customer, and then I prefer to go in and send them either a text message or an email myself, just to
Mhm.
introduce myself and confirm the details.
How about customer acquisition? I know you guys I see you on social media. Um, what other ways have you used to get customers? And I know referrals are a big part of it, but getting people in the door in the first place, like, what do you do to get people in the door?
I have such great friends, I think. I don't know how but so many of our customers have been referrals, not even just from other customers, but just
Mm,
friends of mine that they'll be sitting at their, break room lunch table and someone will be like, "Yeah, like I found this large chest on Facebook, but like I have no idea how I would
mm,
get it home." And they're like, "Wait, I do." They'll
mm,
send, they'll send us they'll send their friend the link, and then I'll usually get a text being like, "Hey, you might get an
mm.
inquiry or a booking from someone named this." And so I really appreciate those as
Nice.
well. But yeah, so we've had a lot of word of mouth um, use, and then also using Instagram, Facebook, and just chatter, I suppose, around Omaha. I've got a big
Yeah.
family, I've got a big group of friends. So just making that community smaller by spreading that word around Omaha.
Have you had any luck with SEO or showing up on search results? Or is that a tough game nowadays?
Mm. So currently not putting any of our budget towards that. We have dabbled, and
Mhm,
it didn't seem to boost any of
mhm, mhm.
our bookings. Maybe we got a little bit more visibility online, but it didn't pan out. So at least right now, when especially in the winter, we see a little bit less traffic for moving. It's not something we're spending or allocating our budget
Mhm.
towards, um, especially since we see so much better of a result from sharing Instagram stories or posting on Facebook. Um, that that's really what is bringing in our customers versus when we had the Google um, search ads.
So if I'm thinking, if I was thinking about setting up a business like this, the biggest roadblock in my head would be that app. That seems like that's fairly complex. And I know you've got some good connections, you've got some people around you to help build it, but tell us about, the challenges and how you executed coming up with that really slick app.
Yeah. So we are coming up on a year sort of clean move and the pre-birth. So the idea and then the building of the app, that part really took a lot of a lot of hours. So troubleshooting,
Mhm.
trying out like, you know, pretending to book something, checking the emails, seeing how all the automation and that stuff worked. Luckily, I do have family and friends that are in the tech world, and they did a lot of that work and did countless hours after work just to dedicate to creating Clean Move because like I said, there wasn't going to be a clean move without the technology because we all have the uncle or the friend's boyfriend that can come pick something up, but it's the gap in the market where there's no way to do that online, basically.
Right.
We want to sort of scale one day to be an Uber for moving.
Yeah,
You can hop on the app, you can book someone, and they'll show up. So
right.
that part of creating the technology for Clean Move was really the basis of the idea. And so it was important for us to get something really slick and really easy for the customer to use for our first year, where we're really just trying to get the word out. We're trying to get some business, but most importantly, we want people to come to the website and see how easy it is and know, like, oh, I'm not moving right now and I don't have any, you know, antiques to sell right now, but when I do, I already know this really easy, awesome app, Clean Move, that I can use. So that was one of the most important parts before launching. So that took about 2.5, 3 months to really work on every single day. And then
Mm,
in May, we had what we call a MVP, minimal
mhm.
viable product. And we launched that May 5th, and been really working on tweaking things and finding our like niche market ever since. But having that product and pushing it out there to the customer was really important to us to be able to get the information we need to make it better.
2 months sounds really fast to me.
Yeah,
Like, it
uh, it didn't feel like it.
it didn't feel like it.
No.
So how much time was between the concept and then starting to design it?
Oh, not a lot.
So this all kinda came together last year.
The idea was like, oh, this this is needed,
Yeah,
especially in Omaha. I know in some big cities you can find, you know, a lot of users on something like TaskRabbit or those types of apps. But especially in Omaha, we don't see a lot of um, people using those apps, or even the laborers using the apps that'll offer the labor. So there was definitely a gap around the, the area. So once the idea popped up, it was like, okay, we're starting to build.
yeah.
We're not waiting to think of a new idea for a random business one day. You know, it was, this is a good idea. Let's run after it.
What are, I love to know what technologies business owners use. Obviously, you've got your main app, but what other, like, third-party, applications do you use, whether that be CRM, even just general email, AWS? Like, what are some services that you use technology-wise to help you run the business?
Right now, obviously we hope to grow, and I'm sure we'll need more and more technology to help us run the business. But as such a labor intensive business on like the outer end, really all it took, or all it requires, is the technology we needed to automate the website. And then we like to log things just in Excel right now, and trying to think if there's anything else. We use Stripe for
Mm,
payment.
mhm.
And so that right now is what we use for credit card payments on the website. So the technology there is integrated with the mycleanmove.com.
Gotcha.
Uh-huh. But other than that, we are mostly manual labor.
Well, keeping it lean is smart too.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people overwhelm themselves with too much at the beginning. Um, what are some of the regulatory things you have to do? Like, for example, do you collect taxes? Is it a taxable business? Like, what are some things you have to do that are kind of the boring
Yeah.
stuff with the state and all that?
Yeah. So that's what we've been using Excel to keep track of all of our bookings, and you know, we have all of our customers information that we'll need for the move. But we'll keep track of payments, including taxes. So the website does estimate tax for us, and we'll charge the customer. And so anytime that we have money come in, we make sure that we in our spreadsheet have, you know, the cost breakdown, and we have the tax that is separated. So we know what is going to be used for taxes come this spring. So even the second clock struck midnight for 2026, we're like, okay, we have to really start thinking about our taxes and make sure we have everything lined up. We've kept a really good log of everything, and that is really the boring part, is just
Mhm.
logging everything. But obviously we know that's going to come in handy come 2026. We have some friends that have small businesses as well. And so we have had some coffee dates and whatnot just to talk about what tax season will look like for a small business owner,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
talk talk to those other business owners about, what things we might want to be logging and saving. So our friends have been really helpful too.
And, so what are some of the things that you discovered after you got into it as a founder business owner that you have to do on a weekly or monthly basis that maybe you weren't expecting, or I don't know, that aren't as fun? I mean, the thing that comes to my mind is probably all that data collection and
Yeah.
stuff that you're having to do, but tell me more.
The data collection it's one thing that we is boring, but we don't want to ever get behind on. So instead of doing that on, let's say, like a weekly or monthly basis, we do that, immediately after each move. So just staying on top of that in real
Mhm.
time so we don't forget any
Yeah.
details we might need. With Clean Move, the things that are more labor intensive or boring or things I didn't expect to be doing so often, those are more things like, oh, I'm like driving from my home in East Omaha to the Bennington waste management site. And,
Mhm.
just those. Right now, I don't have any employees. I'm doing this by myself or with
Mhm.
and friends that are willing to just hang out with me and help me. Um, so it's a muscle business as much it is the tech side that was the original vision. But until we reach a scale that makes sense to start having a payroll or employees, it's a self-run business. So it includes everything, including the gross part or
Mhm.
the heavy lifting.
Well, I think it's a real inspiration. I mean, especially since you did this while having a full-time job, and a lot of our listeners, have a full-time job and they're thinking about starting a business. And so what kind of advice could you give to them? Like, how did you segment off enough time, and how do you structure your days and weeks so that you keep things moving forward?
Yeah. So after work every single day, allocating 1 hour, and
Mm.
1 hour to either your pitch that you want to pitch to your friends or family, asking that, how they think of your idea, accepting a lot of feedback from them, and being able to take that to basically make what we referred to as that MVP. And once you have something, just get out there and do it, because you're never going to know from your customer what they want or what they need if you don't have the product out there. So
Mhm.
it might sound silly, but I think my advice would be to not wait and don't sit on your idea. Just start building the product, get it out there, and then see what you need to do to refine the product by using it or by having it available for the customer.
Yeah. Get
So
it out in the wild.
yeah, yeah. Just being able to allocate, let's say, an hour every night, you're gonna sit down and you're gonna spend that hour and you're gonna want to keep going. So
Mm.
it's time consuming, but you're gonna start spending maybe 2, 3 hours at night after work working
Mhm.
on something once you get a groove. And then next thing you know, you've put like 80 hours into this.
Yeah.
Um,
And you don't necessarily have a type of job where you can, like, sneak away and
I
do a
don't.
little work on the side either.
It's
Yeah.
not something I can do at work. I work in a hospital, and I don't even have my own computer there. I can get on
Right.
email there, but that's about it. I'm boots on the ground working with patients. So it is a different a nice change of pace when I go home and can just sit down at a computer and do work, because it doesn't feel like my usual work. So I do understand with people that already have a technology job or a job that they're sitting at a computer, it might take more motivation to sit down for an hour after work. But like I said, once you have an idea that you're really excited about, I think that 1 hour will come pretty easily.
I find that too. It's like if it's something you're excited about, you kinda it that gives you energy, but
Yeah.
it's a matter of just getting started, and I like what you said, we're just tell yourself tell yourself an hour.
Yeah.
That may end up being 3, but just at least an hour and
Uh-huh.
get going on it. Yeah. What tell me about, what are some of your inspirations, whether that be books or other business leaders or podcasts or friends or, like, what are some, where are some places you went for inspiration and also just some knowledge to get something off the ground?
Yeah. So my sister is actually a small business owner. She was able to quit her real job, corporate job in 2020 and has been her own boss for now 6 years. And
That's great.
yeah, uh, I love her jokes about, like, let me see if my boss will give me PTO for that. Or, she's always making jokes
Yeah,
about being her own boss. And
right.
that's really it's been inspirational to watch her grow and
Mm,
watch, her creativity take over because she's in charge of what comes through the door, really. So just seeing the kind of autonomy that she has in her life because of the business that she started and that she runs on a day to day. She was also able to hire some help. She has an assistant, and she was really able to find a niche in the market. And so, like I said, when the idea for Clean Move with the app came up, it was like, okay, how can I
mm.
almost think of this like my sister's business, where, I was able to kind of use her as a an outline. And she definitely has inspired a lot of the growth, of Clean Move, but also been spending a lot of times reading books. Um,
Hmm. You have any you can share?
um, Creating a storyboard, um, has really been helpful because,
Hmm.
and that's the book. I'm not in marketing. I don't know those things. I'm a nurse, and you know, although nursing is like a customer service related industry as
Mhm.
well, like the communication side of what building a business looks like. So being able to read up on how businesses become successful or how businesses bring customers in the door, um, those have been really helpful. And I plan on continuing to do that. It's not like, oh, now I started the business, so I know everything. Um,
Sure.
Continuing to learn about, um, branding and building the business, as well as, of course, we want to continue to grow the technology.
What are some of the struggles you went through, or were there moments that you doubted or thought about quitting, or, like, what are some of the hurdles you had to pass through this last year?
Yeah. Really just like the back and forth of, is this going to be successful? The internal, like, oh my gosh, is this a terrible idea? Um,
Right. We've all felt that.
yeah. So, the investment in the business financially was mostly put towards purchasing a moving van to be able to offer this,
Mhm.
service to the area. So that was a good chunk of money to put down on a van. We're talking like probably put down around $10,000, and then
Mhm.
monthly having a payment going towards the van,
Mhm.
as well. So am I going to be able to make enough money to basically
Mhm.
cover that monthly bill, and then to
Yeah.
towards the $10,000 investment? So just first of all, being smart about it and calculating what I need to do to reach that goal every single month, and how much do I have to charge to be able to reach that goal? How many moves or hauls need to be done to be able to reach that goal? Um, so I think a hurdle might have just been like confidence. Um,
Sure.
Confidence entering the space of like, can I make this worth it? Um,
Right.
and so of course, 10 times I was like, no, I need to, this is bad. We should back out. We should wait. We should, you know,
Mhm.
do this and that. But ultimately, the the advice that I have is just to start, because one day you're gonna wonder why you never did, and you don't want to be sitting there when you're 75 wondering why you never
Yeah.
put that idea out there that you had when you were 30. So
Well, the smart thing for you is, the investment was locked up mainly in the vehicle, which is an asset that you could sell.
yes.
Not it won't be you won't sell
Of
for
the
what you bought it for.
Uh-huh.
But so you could sell that, and then the software investment was a lot lower than it would have been if you were to pay for that fully in full.
Yep.
So that's smart, and you've made it 8 months, so it sounds like, things are going fairly well.
Yeah.
And when you were mapping that out, that math, how much do I need to make? Was that on, like, a napkin? Was that on Excel? Or, like, how did you go about doing
Yeah.
that?
It started on a napkin for sure.
Mhm.
A paper towel, actually.
Right.
Yeah. And then really honestly using the website, um, that mycleanmove.com, to be able to see like, okay, how much would we make on this type of move? Because
Mm,
each job that we book pays different amount. So just being able to see and estimate and predict, if we do this many moves or this many junk calls, we might get this much in. But we know that there's going to be small jobs and large jobs. So using the website to help us calculate what a small, medium, and large job might bring in, and then how many of those we can reach for, or a combination of like, okay, maybe like this many large jobs and this many small jobs, just estimating or predicting. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, it's all rough. It's not anything concrete that we have formulas for. Is just
But how close to your expectations has it unfolded over the 8 months? Is it how far off or how close to your expectations is it?
honestly not terribly far off.
Mm,
Month to month, we might see different um, different variations of revenue, um, and one might be exceeding our monthly expectation, and one might not make the goal. But overall, at like, let's say at a glance for these past 8 months, we are we are feeling like we're getting the amount that we expected, our projected um, income.
has it got to well, I know you're seasonal. Right now, you're in the down season.
Yeah.
Are you sensing some sort of consistency? You mentioned you have had some repeat customers, and then I'm sure your referrals probably grow as you add customers. So are you experiencing any consistency yet?
Um, that's hard to answer, especially with like the expected kind of lull in business in the colder months. Um, but I definitely think, just as we are consistent with our marketing and our just talking about Clean Move, we see a correlation back. So as long as we are staying active in the community and online, we see activity on the
Mm,
website.
nice. Um, and then how do you track that activity? Are you using Google Analytics or some other tracking tool? Or mainly just, like, responses on your website?
Yeah, responses online,
Gotcha.
activity just through
Oh, you can tell if someone searched for a price or whatever?
yeah, yep. We actually do get automated, um those same automated emails that we would get if
Mm,
fully booked us,
mm,
get if they even put in their
hmm.
information.
And do you know what your what percentage of people that look up a quote end up buying?
Uh,
Like,
since
is it
since I use it so much too as
oh,
well, the playing
yeah,
with it, I don't have a so my number is gonna be a total estimation, but I would say,
sure.
it's a high amount. The
Like over half or like
Oh, yeah. I was
a
gonna say
quarter?
like 80,
Okay,
5.
nice.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which is nice
Um,
because, I mean, the people that know to come to Clean Move,
yeah,
mycleanmove.com, are usually someone that heard about us through a friend
sure.
or, they're pretty much ready to book. Um,
Yeah,
and if you come on our website and you type in your information, you're getting a price that you're gonna be excited about. And
yeah.
yeah, most of the people that come to the website do end up having a booking.
That's great. It sounds like, you've got really good validation on the business so that it's really just a matter of traffic at this point. If
Yeah,
you can get a lot more people to that site, you'll get a lot more business.
yeah.
Um, what is some advice you would give to someone else that is working a 9 to 5 that has the dream like you and your sister of being able to leave out on their own? What's some advice you would give to them?
My advice is to take that idea, write it all down, make sure you have a solid plan, but then to take that and turn it into something because you never want to see your idea out there in use and it was someone else's execution. So just go ahead, write your idea down and start the process. Starting a business is obviously a big deal, but it can happen over time in little pieces, and don't let it overwhelm you. There are a lot of people that can help you out there. We've got YouTube videos, TikToks, podcasts that can really walk you through the steps of what building a business looks like, how you can set up an LLC, making sure you're doing everything by the books, and
Mhm.
then really it's your idea that's going to carry the business.
And finally, what do you look forward to? What does the future hold for you and Clean Move over the next 1 to 5 years?
Okay. 1 year's 1 year, really excited just to see growth in our customers, our business. Right now we're running with our current vehicles, the um, cargo van, but being able to see, will our community need more? And how can we scale this to what the community is needing? But closer to that 5 year, I'm really excited to see almost a bird's eye view. What does the brand look like? How have we evolved from, what we started with in our idea, like, okay, our clean move colors, we're gonna stick to like a blue and green palette because those are clean and
Mm,
will inspire, decluttering and
mhm,
a clean way of living. So
mhm.
seeing how our brand can become it into itself and what kind of the community sees clean move as and how we can reflect that back in what we present to the customer. So hoping in the next year to see a lot of growth in our website activity and our bookings and being our services to the community, and then really in 5 years being able to see clean move just from another point of view, like how the brand has evolved.
That's exciting, and I'm really impressed. I feel like you've done it the right way. You've taken calculated risk, but you took action. You acted quickly. It was really impressive how quickly it moved, and so I'm excited to keep following the story and definitely be rooting for you and, referring customers to you and maybe using you guys myself. So,
We'd happy to.
well, I appreciate you sharing the story with our group, and, thank you so much. We'll have to bring you back sometime soon.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Brian.
Thanks for listening. If you'd like to trade your 9 to 5 for your side venture or scale your existing business, Grab the Founder Starter Kit for free at prairiefoundersclub.com.